Alright, hello YouTube, what is up? This is Shatner's Prodigy, and today I'm bringing you a live deck profile of my Fabled Quasar deck. This will of course include some card explanations which I haven't really given you in the past, and just some general observations I have about the deck. So starting us off, we have 3 Fabled Grimro. Now if you don't know what Fabled Grimro does, you should. It's if you control a Fabled monster, send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 Fabled monster from your deck to your hand. It's the searcher of the deck. It's the searcher. I mean, do I need to go any further? It can be recurred with Cross, and it makes easy level 5 plays with Chawa. Speaking of Cross, we have 3 Fabled Cross. Now, Cross is the one who brings Fableds back from the graveyard. Now, she is mandatory, so that could put you in a sticky situation, but it rarely does. Really, she's just a powerful card. I wouldn't consider her at less than 3. I see other people playing her at less than 3, but, I mean, she gets stuff back from the graveyard. What more can you ask for? Now I'm playing 2 Fabled Raven. This is my one controversial tech. Lots of people don't like to run Raven because they don't feel like they need her. They feel like it's kind of an unnecessary normal summon that your deck can't afford to have. But I like her. That's all I'm going to say. Fabled Raven is good. She offers you lots of discard outlets, and you can actually summon her with the Fabled Nezuchi, of which I play 3. Now, if you don't know Nezuchi, his effect is you can discard a Fabled monster to special summon him, and then you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower monster from your hand. Now, that plays well with Fabled Raven, because you essentially get a free Raven, and Raven's level manipulation ability lets you go into some pretty easy rank 5s that way. Reagan's also good for getting your dead cards out of your hand, like your Love Leaders and your Glow Up Bulbs and stuff like that. So overall, I like Nezuchi. He's a very, very powerful card overall. Moving on, we're playing 2 Luries. Lots of people play 1 or no Luries. I played no Luries for a little while, but I couldn't stand it. At 1, I feel like I don't draw it often enough. And he really enables you to go for cards like Formula Synchron or just other stuff that you really need access to. Sometimes I do dead draw him, but I'd much rather have him in my hand than have none of him, so that's why I play him. Moving on, we have 3, the Fabled Chawa. This guy is a level 1 tuner, so he automatically lets you go into Formula with him and Lurie. And he also is a discard outlet, and he is the discard outlet you want. He opens up so many plays for the deck, it's kind of insane. If you have him and Cross with Grimro in the graveyard, you can use his effect to discard Cross to bring back Grimro and instantly go into Reagan, which is a good play. That's a play you'll be using a lot. He also just gives you a ton of utility outside of that combo, and he just opens up so many plays that it's kind of insane. You gotta play Chawa, and if you're gonna play a card and you want to see it in your hand, you gotta play it at 3. That's all I'm saying. He's a really strong card. I'm also playing 3 Serperel. Take that what you will. I play 3 because I like having stuff to discard with Nezuchi, and this is something that special summons himself back. You also want this guy in your hand if you have Dark World Dealings, because he can just make Dark World Dealings a +0 overall instead of a -1, which is good, helps you recoup some losses, and if you're playing against a Dark World player, he can give you some field presence. I mean, yeah. Next I'm playing 2 Ganashia. I play 2 Ganashia because, again, Chawa. This is a Photon Pulse Dragon or an Armory Arm. This is a Reagan. Really, he just offers a level 3 non-tuner. One downside is he does get banished if he's summoned by being discarded, but it really doesn't matter too much. He's also a beast, so if you have Ayers Rock Sunrise, you can bring him back. And yeah, he's a pretty strong card overall. Next, into the non-Fableds, I'm playing Level Leader. Level Leader is good because it can just special summon itself back by reducing your Quasar or something else by 1 level. And it just allows you to go for a lot of plays. If you reduce the level of Reagan and then summon out Chawa, you can use Chawa and the Reagan you reduce the level to go for another Reagan, so that's like instantly 2 draws, which is good. And it really just also offers a lot of plays to the deck. Next, I'm running the 2 dragons. The main reason I run White Dragon, which a lot of people don't, and admittedly I don't anymore, is because Fabled Nizuchi took so long to get here that I actually updated my build that completely obsolesced Wyver Buster, but kept Collapse Serpent, because I dead draw this card constantly. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This card is dead more often than it's alive. So yeah, that's a thing. And another card I dropped from the main deck is Gen X Ally Birdman. The reason I dropped Birdman, I have nothing against him. He can make huge fields in combination with Nizuchi. He just requires too many cards to get set up. And I don't know. I'll play with him. I just don't like him. He seems a little inconsistent. But he's good to have whenever he works. And the reason I took him out was so I could put Snatch Steal in the main deck. Speaking of spell cards, moving on. Oh, sorry, I also play 1 Tuning Wear. Tuning Wear, he's good. He turns Formula Synchron into Pot of Greed. He turns Reagan into Graceful Charity without the discard. He's a good monster to Soul Charge back if you want to make just a little bit of extra advantage before you go for Quasar. But yeah, I used to play him at 3 and run Machine Duplication because I loved him so much, but that's just inconsistent. Yeah. So that's about it for the monsters. I'll get these out of here. And that's a total of, I think, 25 monsters. Moving on to the spell cards. First off, 3 Upstart Hobins. Makes your deck a 37 card deck. I mean, what can you say about that? It's just a really strong overall card, and it's really good. What can I say? I'm playing with the common cards. I'm playing with the common because I'm a scrub, but whatever. Moving on, we're playing 2 Dark World Dealings. Now, a lot of people don't like Dark World Dealings because it gives your opponent hand control, and it triggers Shaddolls and Burning Abyss. But in my mind, you're going to lose against Shaddolls and Burning Abyss 9 times out of 10 anyway. So I'd rather have the extra card and hand manipulation than just be without a draw power card. That's just the way I think about it. You're going to see I play a lot of weird cards. And the reason I do that is because I want this deck to get out Quasar. This is just a baseline Fabled Quasar deck. It's not a Synchro deck. It's not a Win deck. It's a Fabled Quasar deck. And on that note, I'm playing 2D Synchro. I play this because if you use it on Formula Synchron, you can, get an extra draw or 2 draws. It turns into Pot of Greed if you use Tuning Wear. Let's see, what else can you do with it? Reagan. You can bring Reagan back to get your Pot of Greed without skipping your draw phase. Just offers a lot of things. It also outs Bells, or Beals, whatever you want to call it, which was a problem I had, which is why I originally started playing Orient Dragon. But then I realized Desynchro did the same thing. So, I mean, I still have Orient Dragon, but eh. Moving on, we have Draw Muscle, the only quick play spell card that I play. I don't like quick play spell cards because you can't set them, then activate them on the same turn. And that makes them inherently inconsistent in my mind. If you don't know what Draw Muscle does, it lets you draw a card by targeting one monster with 1,000 or less defense, which makes you wonder why Giant Soldier of Stone is on there. He has 2,000 defense, but whatever. I can only activate 1 per turn. If I could activate more than 1 per turn, I'd play more than 1. But in my mind, I don't want to dead draw Muscle. That's just not what you want to do. So I'm only going to play 1 because that's the maximum amount you can use per turn. Moving on, I'm playing Ayers Rock Sunrise, which lets you recur 1 beast monster from the graveyard. Really? I mean, what can I say? If it lets you recur 1 beast monster, you can bring back your Chawa, you can bring back your Surabo, you can bring back your Ganashia. It just offers a whole lot of play to the deck. I used to play a card called Iron Call to bring back Formula Synchron, but that's a bygone age. I'm also playing Where Art Thou. It searches a level 1 monster from your deck if you have a level 1 monster. That's good if you normal summon out a card like Tuning Wear, then you can add Chawa to your hand to make your plays all that much better. Next, I'm also playing Double Summon. A lot of times, not a lot of times, this deck is fairly consistent, but sometimes you just need an extra normal summon. And Double Summon is your boy. This guy essentially replaced Photon Lead whenever I transferred from Lightsworn Quasar to Fabled Quasar, which is a good move. Lightsworn Quasar was terribly inconsistent, but whatever. Double Summon just gives you that extra push you need to get in for game. Next we have Foolish Burial, 1 for 1, and Soul Charge. None of these really need explanation. Foolish Burial gets fodder in your graveyard for the dragons. It gets stuff in your graveyard for Soul Charge and Crust and your recursion stuff, and honestly, it's just a really powerful card overall. I'm not playing any trap cards because trap cards are slow, and with that, we'll move on to the extra deck. So first off, we're playing 2 Formula Synchron. I don't run more than 2 because I don't need more than 2. 2 is all that I'll ever need. It gives me great access, and extra deck space is kind of tight in this deck. Next we have Phonon Pulse Dragon. Phonon Pulse is life, Phonon Pulse is love. This guy is so good. It allows you to have a level 1 tuner, a level 3 tuner, or a level 4 tuner, based on what you need. Also a level 2 tuner, if you don't have access to Formula. It is just such a versatile card, and I love it so much. It offers a lot of plays. Next up we have Armory Arm. I mainly have this in here because of the interaction where if I have, let's say, Ganashia and 2 Chawas on board for some reason, or a better example, Nazuchi, Cerberel, and Chawa on board, this allows me to sink the 2 level 2s into Armory Arm, and then sink the other 2 monsters into Fabled Reagan. This guy is the lifeblood of your deck. This guy, what he does is he allows you to draw 2 cards for no cost. All you have to do is have less than 2 cards in your hand whenever you summon him, and he lets you draw until you have to. Now that's a great effect, and it's optional, which is great because that means mandatory effects like Tuning Wear and TG Hyperlibrarian go on as Chain Link 1, which means you can effectively get 3 or even 4 draws off of this guy, which is pretty insane. He's just really powerful. He's one of the most powerful cards in your deck outside of Soul Charge, but just really he offers you so much draw power. It's a sin not to play him at 3. I'm playing TG Hyperlibrarian, not TG Hyperlibrarian, Ally of Justice Cataster. I'm just playing this because the locals I go to, which is where I play this deck, has a lot of rogue decks. So I'm playing this to get over, like, Blue Eyes and, what else? And just rogue monsters you wouldn't normally see. Like, Michael the Arc Lightsworn and stuff like that. I haven't been to locals in almost 6 months. I stopped going right before Duelist Alliance came out, so I have no idea what the meta's like at my locals, but yeah. Next I'm playing Orient Dragon. He out-synchro monsters that can't be outed normally. The main monster I'm thinking of is Beals. He also does something when he's summoned, which is what I look for. I used to play a card called Phonon Pulse, called Powered Insectron, which is a level 6 machine, but it just didn't offer the utility I needed, and it didn't really do anything. But yeah, that's why I play Orient Dragon. Next I play Black Rose Dragon. Just a side note, the effect to blow up the field can miss timing, so if you're using Formula Synchron, just make sure Formula Synchron is Chain Link 1, because if you chain it to anything, you can't use Black Rose Dragon's effect. But yeah. Also, side note, if you run Glow Up Bulb, which I don't in this deck because I'm the epitome of a budget player, and I just didn't feel like, you know, investing in Glow Up Bulb until I was sure it wasn't going to go back up on the list. But yeah. Black Rose Dragon is Black Rose Dragon. Blows up the field, what more can I say? Next I'm playing Michael the Arc Lightsworn. I didn't used to run this card, but I just came into too many instances where I wanted to run this card, and I couldn't. So I decided to run the card. And it's working out on Dueling Network. I like it. It offers outs to back row without blowing up the entire field, which I don't have because I don't play MST because MST is slow. And yeah. Next, Shooting Star Dragon. I mean, if worse comes to worse and your Quasar gets stopped, I mean, why not? Hold on, let me fix my bagel here. Alright, and moving on, finally, 2 Shooting Quasar Dragons. Shooting Quasar Dragon, I'm playing it because this is a Quasar deck, and you can't have a Quasar deck without Quasar. That's just simple common sense. And yeah, I mean, I play 2 because if I don't use Soul Charge to bring out Quasar, I can use Soul Charge to bring out a second Quasar. Also, if Quasar goes to the graveyard, it's basically stuck there, so you can always make a second one because your deck is pretty extensive in the combos it can do to make Quasar. And yeah, that's it for the main deck and extra deck. I guess I can go into the side deck, even though it's highly personalized to my locals and probably won't do you any good in a competitive scene. I'm playing Buster Blader because last time I was there I saw some Dragon Rollers and Blackwing Dragon because burn. One guy plays Chain Burn, so this guy's an out to burn. Next off, I'm playing 2 Max Seeds because there's a Madolche player and it's an out to Burning Abyss. Book of Moon just for Burning Abyss if I ever see it. I don't know what my locals is made up of. It might see some Burning Abyss. 3 MST, really it's just for Clipboards. I wouldn't recommend playing it against anything else except for Clipboards, and maybe Floodgates if you think someone's going to slide in a bunch of Floodgates against you. 2 back to square one, gets over Darklaw, gets over Winda. I main deck it on Dueling Network because I play in singles, but tournaments are always held in matches, so that's why I play it there. I'm also siding 3 Divine Wrath. Divine Wrath's really good for my locals because it's mostly made up of shrubs using the Lightsworn structure deck. So it stops JD and it stops all that stuff. And finally, Goes in Match. Goes in Match is a great floodgate, or at least it was whenever I played last. It got me a lot of games against the Dragon Roller player and a lot of people playing like Madolches or something. So yeah, that's the deck profile. If you enjoyed, you know, do that thing where you leave a like. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Keep in mind this deck is not competitive, so if you want to play it competitively, I would not recommend that. It's really just a for fun deck, and yeah, it does win more than it loses, but really, play it at your own caution. Anyways, this has been Shatner's Prodigy, signing out.
Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.